Hello everyone. Today we are making pork belly burnt ends on the Big Green Egg. It's always a great idea to start with a sharp knife. I chose the scimitar for this job. We got this slab of pork belly from Glenwood Meats. It costs $5.99 per pound when you get the whole side boneless, skinless. Yes, this piece of meat cost almost $50. Start by slicing the slab in half. This is a nicely marbled piece of meat. The next step is slicing 1-inch thick pieces against the grain. This is a good time to practice knife skills. I'm sure you could ask the butcher to cube it for you if circumstances permit. Otherwise, our next step is to turn those slices into dices. Stack the pork belly slices 2 by 2, then slice through to make approximately 1-inch sized cubes of pork. Now it's time to place all those pork belly cubes into a big ass bowl for seasoning. As for seasoning, it really doesn't take much to make pork taste good. I went for a blend of 2 of my favorites, Tony Chachere's and Sammy's Secret Pork Rub. This pork belly is just over 8 pounds, so I'm estimating about a 1/4 cup of each spice mix. Mix those up until fully incorporated, and then start tossing it with the pork belly cubes. Try to coat all sides of the pork belly pieces with the seasoning. We are now live from Sammy's Smoke Shack, where he is going to show us how to light the large Big Green Egg. Your charcoal line should be just underneath the fire ring at this point. Start the fire whichever way your heart desires. To save on buying fire starters, I picked up the Luft lighter for Christmas for Sammy. This thing lights the fire in minutes and honestly is just really fun to use. Now that the charcoal is lit, we can build up more fuel for it to burn through. We chose apple and hickory chunk wood with Big Green Egg lump charcoal. Layer the pieces in until they are halfway up the fire ring. Now we can leave the lid open for about 5 minutes to get this fire really going. Once those approximate 5 minutes are up, we want to set up the egg to indirect cooking. We can set up the Egg Genius or Barbecue Guru to regulate the temperature for us. You don't necessarily need it for 3-hour cooks, but it was windy this day, and we felt like the fire could use the helping hand. We want to set the pit temperature to 275 Fahrenheit. Here is where the egg is at after we close the lid up now. So 104 Fahrenheit. We got a little ways to go.
So a little burnt end smoking today. Got the new Egg Genius hooked up. Powerful little device that is. Just got a towel underneath just so I don't get any drippings on the table. And it is rolling. Woo-wee. Got a video getting created for Cook with Kate. Check it out on YouTube and Twitch.
Okay, now on to the barbecue sauce. Every barbecue sauce probably starts with ketchup, so give a good squirt of that into the saucepan. I wanted to create a sort of sweet and spicy flavor to go with the smoky pork belly. I added in some apple butter, as well as some other apple barbecue sauce I had in the fridge. How about 5 chipotles in adobo sauce? A little bit of heat. And then some apple cider vinegar for acidity. Molasses for sweetness. And a splash of Worcestershire sauce. We want to bring the sauce to a simmer, and then we're going to add a 1/4 cup of whiskey to it. Yeah, we'll call this a whiskey apple barbecue sauce. Simmer this for 10 more minutes, and then we'll let it cool to room temperature. Back to the Big Green Egg, where we've got the temperature up to a steady 275 Fahrenheit. Time to put on all of those delicious pork belly pieces. Make sure to leave ample space between the pieces of meat to ensure even cooking and smoke adhesion. Once the grill rack is full, close that lid up and let the Egg Genius regulate the cooking temp to 275 Fahrenheit. The Egg Genius device and app are amazing for anyone who consistently uses their egg. You attach the blower to the bottom vent and it gives the fire extra fuel when needed. You can attach 3 separate thermometer probes and monitor the internal temperature of the meat as it cooks. There's a graph comparing the pit temperature to the set temperature and the fan output. That is very useful information to have for those meats that you repeat cook. It will help you compare analytics and hopefully achieve a more consistent cook. The ultimate goal is to have the pit temperature and set temperature stay at the same gradient. Oh, did I mention this thing is Bluetooth? So you can monitor the grill from inside for those not so nice days. This is the 1 hour in mark. The pork seemed to be cooking a little bit hotter than planned, so we moved some of the more crispy pieces to the inside of the grate where they would slow down cooking. We're also spritzing it with a mixture of 50-50 apple cider vinegar and apple juice. There's no time for dilly-dallying here. We want that lid opened and closed as soon as possible. It's now time to blend the barbecue sauce. I'm using an immersion hand blender, but you could also use a stand blender. Instructions are simple here. Blend until smooth. The chipotle seeds may take a bit to break down, so have a little bit of patience there. Once the sauce is smooth, we want to make sure we taste the sauce for balance of acidity and sweetness, as well as salt. It should complement the smoky flavor of the pork. Back to these smoky pork nuggets. The recipe said to cook for 3 hours, but we felt the pork would dry out too much by then. I tasted a piece and it was tender, juicy, and meaty. If the pork was still chewy at all at this time, I would continue smoking as you saw fit. We were both surprised the pork was done early because I cut it larger than directed in the recipe. Hey, I'm not mad. That was 1 less hour to have to wait to eat it. So let's remove all of those pork nuggets and get them dressed with that awesome, tangy apple whiskey barbecue sauce. Seriously, so good. These meaty morsels will just melt in your mouth. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and let me know whether you liked or disliked the video. See you next time.